You're watching Ride the Teacups, and we just watched season 1 of The Owl House. The Owl House is a great story about a Hispanic girl named Luz and her mom who live together. Luz has a great imagination. She is always way out there in fantasy, all about it. Her mom kind of wishes she would come down to earth, though, and be a bit more realistic with things with her studies and her schooling, to the point where she actually sends her off to a summer camp to learn how to be normal and boring. Doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. Luz actually finds a portal to another realm and gets transported into another land where magic is the norm and witches actually exist and demons are there, and all of these in this little community together, and she becomes part of it. She meets up with the Owl Lady herself and becomes her student, learning different spells and other parts of witchcraft. Later in the season, actually gets admitted into a witch's school. So it's a lot of fun. You get to see kind of Luz go through the entire middle school, high school drama style storylines. She gets to have lots of fun with her friends, making the friends and spending time with them, and learning how to respect other people, even when they don't necessarily deserve it or you wouldn't think so. It's really about seeing a different side of people and respecting people for who they are, whether they are bullies or misfits or kids who always end up in detention, people who just seem to break the rules for no reason, highly esteemed people. You get to kind of see fully fleshed out versions of those instead of just their stereotypes, which of course is great for us to do in society in general. We don't want to just kind of shoehorn somebody into one fit. We want to know that people are actually real people with feelings and are complicated. And so it's really cool to see a Disney cartoon really explore that in a lot of different ways. The Owl House has a very diverse cast, and that's not just because a good portion of them are witches and demons and elves and all kinds of other things. You get to see representations of just about every ethnicity that exists all together, all walks of life, the younger, mid, old, all of them actually working together for different things, people of all different cultures and career paths and steps of life up and down the ladder, all really working together. And again, you get to see how complex they are. There is a good bit of LGBTQ plus inclusion as well. I don't want to spoil how that comes about. Just about everybody is represented here. It also kind of sets up from start to finish. You really want to watch these episodes in a row. It's not a sitcom style where the story ends where it begins so you can watch it in any order. You really need to see the process of how Luz and the Owl Lady actually interact with each other, and then you need to see how she gets involved with the school, and then you need to see how she actually gets to her friends, and then you need to see the Owl Lady and her sister Lilith, by the way, how they interact and kind of how their backgrounds came about. You really need to see it in the sequential order. So this was a series that originally appeared on the Disney Channel. You will very likely see reruns of it there, I would imagine, I'm guessing. And then of course it's here on Disney Plus, but watch it in order as you're going to progress through, because you'll see it build over time and you'll certainly appreciate it an awful lot more instead of getting left behind. So is this worth your family time together? I'm going to give this maybe a 1 out of 2 for family time. So as parents, this is a Disney cartoon. It's not a classic. It was actually made in 2020. And a lot of the stories really cater to the younger audience. So parents, it's a cartoon. It doesn't really have a whole lot for you. This is a Saturday morning, or after school style cartoon that we grew up with. Not so much for family time. I enjoyed it, but really not so much for families, more designed for kids. So 1 Teacup for should your family watch together, but our next point is on should your kids watch it by themselves. And I am going to give this a 1 out of 2, and I will explain why. Obviously, that's what we do here. So the show actually tackles really complicated issues, which is great. Normal episodes are just, your typical after-school things, right? So you have Luz has to figure out how to deal with the tension and how to deal with when your friends aren't playing nicely with each other, or if you kind of pulled in different directions, or if you're not appreciated, or issues with your parents loving them and missing them, but also wanting your privacy and things like that. Real issues that are tackled in all kinds of cartoons. That is great, but Again, I've got younger kids, and they're not really ready for that type of thing yet. So for older kids, it might be much more appropriate. Say maybe 10 or 12 onward. Again, Luce is actually in a high school, basically. So just imagine that the age range that they're kind of going for on that. In addition, they tackle a lot of tough issues, including coming to grips with yours and or others' sexuality in a teenage settings where you're kind of discovering yourself. Well, these guys go through that too. They go through it, I think, in a very honest and sincere, authentic manner. But again, that's something that your kids may not be ready for yet, or that you as a parent want to make sure that you can have that discussion first so that your kids aren't seeing it for the first time on TV. So just be aware that type of thing is in there. If that doesn't bother you, that's great. Absolutely have your kids watch it. If it's something you are concerned with, then be aware that this one may be one that you want to give a look yourself before you pass it on to your kids. Does this actually have Disney magic? It's not a classic. It doesn't have any of the classic Disney characters. It's a whole new IP with all new characters and things. But I think I actually am going to give it the Teacup for Disney magic. The characters are very relatable. Again, it comes down to their sincerity and authenticity, along with just a real adventure that you can get invested in. And I think it checks all of those boxes. So yes, we are going to give it the Teacup for the Disney magic. So as far as is it worth your family time, we are giving this a big 3 out of 5 Teacups. Just with those basic caveats for you parents, just be aware of what it is that you're getting into. I watched the entire season 1, really enjoyed it. So something to think about as you are deciding what your kids should be watching. And do please let us know what your favorite episode is down in the comments. I will let you know mine as well. Thanks so much for watching our Disney Plus review. We hope that it's been worth your time and earned a like right down here, that big thumbs up button that you have right below the video. If you want more reviews and things that we think might be worth your family night time together, click right here for our next review. If you want more just about Ride the Teacups and what we do, we like helping people enjoy Disneyland magic at the parks and at home, right here. And if you want to subscribe to our channel, we would love to get to know you, make you part of the community. How about right here, right above my head. Thanks for watching. We will see you guys next time we ride the Teacups.